Recently, I headed out to Portland to learn from a legend, Chauncey Big Shot Billups. He taught me a lot, and so did Anthony Simons. These trips really are beneficial for me. It made me want to learn more. So now, I'm in Oklahoma City to learn from an all-star. All right, I've traveled all the way to OKC to meet with J-Dub, not to be confused with Jalen Williams, but the other. How does it work? How does he work?
J-Will, J-Dub. He had trouble today. Little triple dub, so shout out J-Will.
Today we're gonna talk about shooting. We got a lot that we need to go over. We got a lot of good shooters on that team, and he kind of sticks in, stands out in that category too, especially when it comes to catch and shoot. All right, so let's jump into it. Without further ado, we need to talk about all this stuff when it comes to shooting.
If I'm shooting a free throw, I always try and find the nail. That little if you know, you know. But there's usually like a little hole or like a little mark that like puts me like directly, like if I stand shoulder to shoulder, I'm like directly with like the square. I usually try and go off center though, so my right foot is lined up. I got that from my friend Rashad Smith. I was missing free throws and I couldn't figure out why, and I was shooting them straight, but I was like straight on with the rim. Told me to slide over, so I always put my right foot here. My left foot do whatever it do. I try to have like a pretty smooth base. Whatever your routine is your routine. So I do my one dribble, two dribble, make sure I have the ball. A big thing for me, my hands grew really fast, which is like kind of one of those like underrated things about growing. So I used to always shoot with my hand over the ball.
Kind of roll it up like that?
Yeah, and I roll it up. So now this dribble became so I have time to set my hand to be under the ball. So then when I'm shooting, I don't have to.
So you're already locked in.
I'm already locked in.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
And I feel like that adds on to the progression of being ready, like catch and shoot ready. I think a lot of times when you're not paying attention, my old habits come back now. I'm catching it, I'm rolling it, trying to find it. So this was always a good boom. I get it here. I can set where my hand is, and now I don't have to bump with the ball. So that was a big one for me.
We got to talk about what he does with his hands, all right, in terms of how he holds the basketball from his right hand to the left hand. Now, what do you try to do with your right hand? Because I'm trying to look right now.
Oh, yeah, like if I'm holding it.
Yep, where do you hold? Okay, so is that how you shoot the ball?
Yeah, it's
positive.
Positive.
All right, cool. Shoot a couple free throws.
There we go. Hopefully these go in, otherwise I'm just going to be ass.
Stop. All right, cool. Now I got what I want. So this is what we're looking for. The middle finger is going right down the center of the ball. All right, so I was seeing if he split or put his index, but he's got his middle finger on the ball. Now, what I always look for is this. Is there a vacant panel? The NBA ball, this line comes up right here, so some of them, they go down here.
Yeah.
So he's got one right here. Normally, somebody put their thumb right here, and there's a vacant one, but he has his little under.
It's a little far.
So let's see how you shoot it. All right, so for the next thing, we're gonna talk about his shot line. Some people, you see Kevin Durant bring it up from over here. You see maybe Klay Thompson go straight up. You see somebody go from the middle and go to the right. Where is your shot line? Shot line meaning where you bring the ball up.
So if I shoot, it's probably straight up. I'd usually I had a bad habit when I was younger of shooting right in front of my face. So finding the rim, by the time I had to refine the rim. So I think a lot of it is like right here. I can get it like right here, I'm pretty good.
I think his hand is completely underneath the basketball, so all he has to do essentially is raise just that elbow up.
And that was worked on. That wasn't natural, like I said.
Really?
Before, I used to, obviously I could pound the ball now, but when I was 5'10", trying to get I was like, I was short for a lot of my time period. So even high school, I was 6'1" my junior year, so getting it here, getting to a shot that's comfortable, I don't have time to do this. So a lot of that breaking the habit was trying to get here and get my hand ready under the ball to get it off quicker. Same thing with catch and shoots, being ready, having my hand. So
now we need to test something out, and I'm not gonna tell him what we're working on until he actually shoots a few. I'll rebound for him, but let's see if we'll talk about it in a second. Let's see how he shoots these. Let's go. So what we're taking a look at is, and to my surprise, didn't thumb the basketball at all.
Yeah, that's good work.
Let's talk about guy here.
Oh, okay, this was my hardest. I think this is the hardest one for everybody. Like if you're naturally shooting it, like you can always get one hand. Putting the ball on it, a lot of it, I feel like the hardest part is like knowing when you have too much of your hand on the ball. So I'm gonna try to explain that a little better. you don't want to have it all the way and then you're shooting it with two hands. That was a big one. A lot of times my dad would have me just underneath the rim, not touch the ball, and just kind of work on that motion, like getting it to how I usually shoot, putting it here. And that's thousands of reps. And then we got to a point where it's like, get it here and let go. And then we would do that forever. And that became kind of like the thing. But I feel like that's what a lot of people probably struggle with, is like when you catch it, like kind of knowing, especially if you've never shot a ball, like knowing when to kind of let your hand go. You're not bringing it off, but kind of using like your fingertips. I try not to have my thumb on it too much. Your thumb is like a stabilizer to a certain point, and then you kind of just let your right hand or whatever your strong hand is get the ball off.
This is something that normally throws my shot off when I think about it too much, but I'm gonna ask you about it. Hopefully it does not throw your shot off. What do you look at as you're shooting the ball? You look at the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't look at the ball as it's released.
No, I don't know how people do that.
I don't either. Because
Larry Bird's famous for doing it.
A lot of people do.
I think Curry does it. I know Clay does for sure.
They have to make them aware of it though.
Yeah.
They use like, oh yeah, look at that.
That's something that I don't even think you can really teach, if I'm being honest. I think that just comes with shooting.
So you're looking at back rim.
Yeah, I usually just back rim. It's really hard to even say back rim. I'm really looking at the rim.
Just look at the rim.
Yeah. From like a scorer's perspective, I'm trying to just look at the rim.
You know where the ball is going, right?
Yeah, it's muscle memory, I feel like. I feel like looking at the ball too, I get dizzy. Like trying to like find where it is. I feel like looking at the ball from here, trying to figure out where it is, I can't focus on the rim. So a lot of mine is like, maybe there's something to this, but a lot of it's probably like memory, like muscle memory. Like I know how I'm gonna shoot the ball, so now it's about making sure that I can find the rim. And that goes back to our free throw. What I was saying before, like having a rhythm, making sure I take this pause to like lock in on the rim. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that if I'm looking at the ball.
You know my favorite thing about Dub here is the fact that he's like breaking down everything and I'm not having to do anything.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty awesome.
I have way more arc around the mid-range than I do the three.
Can you explain that though?
I think a lot of times here, I'm getting bumped. So I know I need more room for error. So if I can put the ball up a little higher, use my touch a little more, it allows me to, you know, kind of hit the rim and be off a little bit and it still dance around the rim with my touch. 3-point line, I feel like I just have more time. There's less rush, there's less urgency with the three, to where I can kind of shoot it normal, and that ends up being my normal shot.
So then let me put it to you like how I think about it, right? Here you have people in front of you a lot of times.
Yes.
So you're gonna shoot the ball a little higher because they're trying to block your shot.
Yeah, it's like unconsciously I have to get it over somebody,
Right.
whereas like a three, usually it's a late contest or, you know, and then a three also, if you have to get it off over somebody, you're naturally gonna shoot it higher.
Yeah.
So that's how I think about it.
Right.
So I'm not ever thinking like, I gotta shoot this one flat or I gotta shoot this one higher. I think the only time I've ever like thought, do I have to shoot it higher is, you know, shooting a layup.
Right.
For real. I usually don't miss left and right. And it's not like a cocky thing, it's just like how my jumper is. I don't really, like even out of the shots we just shot, I missed one right out of like the 10 I just shot. It's because of my left hand. Like, so like when I get to here, my left hand is still guiding how straight I need to be to the rim. So regardless if I'm turned this way or if I get knocked off balance, if I can square my shoulders and keep my left hand with the ball, I'm good. When I know the shot's gonna be off, when this dips, this gets walky. It starts left and right, and that's kind of how I know where my jumper is. Like even if it goes left or right, I'm like, that's probably my left hand. So then when I can get my left hand back to my guide, it's usually straight.
All right, so I mean, to be honest with you, that was some good insight. I hope all you guys are actually paying attention who are actually trying to get better at shooting or teaching somebody how to shoot, because this is an all-star, so you probably should take some notes. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna throw the all-star card, but
No, I am.
I don't know. I watch some of the stuff that you be doing too. It's always cool to like be able to learn about basketball. I think everybody shoots differently, and that's what makes the sport so cool. Is like you could teach somebody how to shoot, and just because of body mechanics and how they are, like it could be completely different. So it always comes down to reps, but it's cool to like even hear what you have to say about your jumper. Like we could both go 10 for 10 from a spot and do completely different things. So it's always cool to kind of have this insight.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, that's enough for today. I'm gonna be trying to get this out as much as possible, as many players as I can find. Make sure to follow on Instagram because I got a lot of slow-mo footage that's coming out. DM me formula and I'll send you some secret videos that I've been working on. And stay tuned for the product that I'm coming out with. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow J-Dub.
Yeah, I don't know what
Where do you
my
find
Instagram is. Jalen J-Dub Williams, that's my IG. Go ahead. Getting close to 350.
I'll see you on the next video. Get this man to 400.
Yeah.